Okay, hello, this is Miss Leung. I would like to make two videos. One video is for the formations of tissue fluid and the other one about the lymphatic system. So first of all, I would like to talk about the formation. Okay, let's start. Formation of tissue fluid. Okay. Can you observe it clearly? Okay. First of all, for the formation of tissue fluid, first of all, we need to talk about the three kinds of liquids. We have three kinds of liquids in the body. Okay, one is blood. Another one is tissue fluid, and the other one that we will talk about will be the lymph. The blood will be composed of plasma, the liquid, and the blood cells. And tissue fluid will be those liquid around the cell. Around the cell, okay. Those liquid around the cell will be the tissue fluid. And the lymph will be those liquid in the lymph vessel. So this is in the lymph vessel. Let's talk about how the formation, how the tissue fluid is formed. Tissue fluid will be very similar to plasma and also very similar to the lymph. So these three are very similar. They all, so plasma, we don't count the white blood cell. And for tissue fluid, the only difference is that plasma contains the plasma protein. But tissue fluid and lymph does not contain the plasma protein. And for tissue fluid and lymph, they will have the white blood cell. Right, we will talk about it again later. Also, let's talk about how the tissue fluid is formed. So let's talk about, in fact, I draw this for so many times, okay. Okay. Oh, let's make it this way, easier. So all this part will be the capillary. And then near this point and near this point, this is near to the venous end of capillary. And this is the arterial end of capillary. So that means these two parts are still in the capillary. And this area, this will be the arterial. This is the venous. So this branch into capillary and this join together to be the venous. So this part is joining, this part is branching. At this point, let's say these are blood. Alright, these are blood. So inside these are blood. The blood flow in this way. Near the arterial end, this area inside the blood, this is high blood pressure. We are talking about blood pressure. So higher blood pressure. And then near the venous end of capillary, this is low blood pressure. And remember, for blood pressure, we are talking about the distance. Remember, blood pressure is related to the distance from heart. So as blood continues to flow, the blood pressure will drop. It does not increase anymore. And then near the arterial ends of capillary, due to the high blood pressure, the pressure is just like a force. It forces the materials inside the blood to move out. So all kinds of materials, if they are able to pass through the differentially permeable membrane. So let me draw some, we have some cell here. Okay. This is a cell. And then around the cell, these are tissue fluid. These are tissue fluid. So the yellow color part will be the tissue fluid. So near the arterial end of the capillary, due to the high blood pressure, it will create a hydrostatic pressure. So we talk about this one. Hydrostatic pressure. The hydrostatic pressure will force. The hydrostatic pressure will force the substance in the blood to move out of the capillary through the differentially permeable membrane of the capillary wall. So remember, this part is a cell, and one cell thick. So this part is differentially permeable. So with the high blood pressure, the substance inside the blood will be forced out of the capillary, out of the blood, through the differentially permeable membrane. And those substances including water. So a lot of water is formed here. So the substance coming out will be water, glucose, amino acid, all kind of substance that can pass through the differentially permeable membrane will form the tissue fluid near the arterial end of capillary. And then at the venous end of capillary, because the blood pressure will be low, so some tissue fluid will return back. So especially the water, some water will return back to blood. But this time it's not by a hydrostatic pressure. This time the water returns to blood by osmosis. So in this way, formation of tissue fluid will be by hydrostatic pressure. Return of water to blood near the venous end of capillary, this is by osmosis. But while in the middle, we still have other part, which is around here. We have lymph vessel. So this is a lymph vessel. For the excess liquid, the water, when there's too much water around the cell, some of them will enter the lymph vessel because of too much liquid. So again, too much liquid, those are liquid, so it will be by hydrostatic pressure. Some tissue fluid will enter the lymph vessel by hydrostatic pressure. So again, in fact, they just pass through the differentially permeable membrane of the lymph vessel. So it forms the lymph inside. The tissue fluid and the lymph for the composition, in fact, is just very similar. The only difference is that for the lymph, it may contain more fat. So the lymph, the color of lymph will be milky. But the color of tissue fluid usually will be yellowish. So this part is about the formation of tissue fluid. So the main key points will be formation of tissue fluid near the arterial end of capillary is by hydrostatic pressure. The pressure forces the substance in the blood pass through the differentially permeable membrane of the capillary wall to form the tissue fluid. While near the venous end of capillary, due to the low blood pressure, some of the water in the tissue fluid will return back to the blood by osmosis. And the formation of lymph is by hydrostatic pressure, because excess liquid around the cell will force them to enter the lymph vessel. So this is the part for the revision of formation of tissue fluid.